Sister Shwani, a lot of people asking about children. We've spoken about keeping your emotional health intact and things like that. We have a question: how to fill in the children's social experience, which have suffered terribly because they're not meeting friends, they're not meeting their teachers. It's all indoor, 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 and parenting has been very, very challenging. So for parents out there, for parents who are struggling a lot, what really should they do?
Again, we need to remember what is in my control, what is not in my control. Too much repeated conversation about that, what is not in my control, is a depleter. They are not going to go to school right now. We know they had barely started going, and some of them had not even started going. So, but now they're not going to go for the next couple of months. We know that, yeah. But it's something we already know. It's like it's winter, we know. We don't need to get up everybody and say, oh, it's so cold. But we know it's December, January, February, it's going to be cold. Because every time you say it, your mind, you're allowing your mind to again go, oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh, when will March come? Oh, it's cold, you know it. So similarly, they are not going to go to school for the next 3-4 months. We know it. Don't say it repeatedly because you're just creating an energy in the house that something very wrong is happening with my children. Why do we need to radiate that energy that something very wrong is happening to my children? Because whatever you radiate is what they absorb, is what they believe, and is what they will manifest in their life. So let the house not radiate with this energy saying that my children are suffering. If you radiate that energy, the child will believe that they are suffering. It's very simple. We need to know the power of a parental mind. We really need to know the power of a parental mind's influence on a child's mind. So don't create this energy. My children are suffering. They've lost 2 years of their valuable life. Education will not. There's a whole long list we can talk like that.
Yes.
No, this is a reality that we are not going to school for a couple of months. Full stop. We don't need to say it only once. We don't need to say it every day, even once. We just need to say it once. It's like 3 months, we're not going to go to school. Full stop. Second, what are we going to do in these 3 months to strengthen ourselves? That should be the focus. That should be the focus, which many houses have done in the first 2 years also. If they have not, they will do now. You will now strengthen your child emotionally. Please remember, sometimes situations which are different from normal, the normal which we are used to as normal, actually bring out strength in people. Actually bring out strength in people. So the normal going to school, the normal go doing everything, yes, it's very good. Obviously, we know that. But nothing different was happening by which your mind or the child's mind would strengthen itself. Suddenly, your child has had to face situations which were different for them. They've never sat at home at a stretch without. So imagine the coping capacity of the mind of the child which has got developed in these 2 years, which would have never happened if this situation doesn't arise. So we are looking at what has not happened right, but we are not looking at a lot of things which have happened which would have never happened otherwise. So coping with uncertainty, coping with life not being my way, coping with me having to sit at home and not go out the way I want to, is something your child would have never developed. They would have never developed this coping mechanism, and this COVID has taught them to develop that coping mechanism. Start looking at the good that happens and start focusing on that and start radiating every day. Oh, my child has become emotionally very strong in these 2 years. They've become emotionally mature. They start radiating that vibration in the house that something good has happened in my child's life in these 2 years, and you will see good start happening. And now when you consume good divine content on the daily basis, also help them to start consuming it, whether you read it out to them in their vocabulary depending on their age, or you introduce them to spiritual content. There is no age which we should say, oh, but they are children. It's for the soul on the journey.